podcast. Don't forget that you can still leave hearts in the replay. That lets people know that you enjoy the information that you're hearing in the scope. And if you have any questions, make sure you go to our website. You can see it right here, goldenpoppyherbs.com/basics of herbalism. Sign up for the newsletter to get a free ebook on the basics of herbalism, and send us your questions if you have any that you didn't get to ask since you weren't on live. So for those of you who are joining live, thank you so much. Welcome. I'm going to get started in just a couple seconds here so I can have a few more people jump on. I'm really excited about today's herb that we're going to be talking about. If any of you recognize the herb in the background of this picture, feel free to shout it out in the comments. Let us know what it is. And if you are new and just jumping on, make sure you say your name, where you're from, say that you're new so I can give you a shout out. Hey Betty, how's it going? I'm really excited about today also because I'm periscoping from home, so you're going to have to excuse my home life in the background, but it means I'm also going to get more time to talk to you guys. Hey Larry from DeKalb. I don't know where that is. Go ahead and switch this around here. Pardon me for a moment, everybody. Welcome. So for those of you who are just joining, if you don't know me, my name is Sarah. I am a clinical herbalist and a clinical nutritionist. I own Golden Poppy Herbal Apothecary in Fort Collins, Colorado. We are a retail store and clinic, and we teach classes on herbal medicine. I do one-on-one consultations with people for herbalism and nutrition. We stock bulk herbs. We make all of our own herbal products, body care products, medicinal tea blends, tincture blends, all sorts of cool things like that. You can find most of our products on our website. It's goldenpoppyherbs.com. You can buy a lot of the stuff that I talk about there. And if you're ever in Fort Collins, you can feel free to stop in. So I have been doing this 30 Herbs in 30 Days series. We don't sell medical marijuana. We sell all of the other medicinal herbs that are out there. Want to try some tea? Yeah, you should definitely try some tea. I'm a big tea fan. So thanks, Betty. I appreciate it. So this 30 Herbs in 30 Days series is all about medicinal herbs. Each day I have been talking about a different medicinal plant, and kind of just educating everybody on what you could use herbs for, why you would want to use herbs, just so people can learn a little bit more about it. There's so much information about herbs on the internet, and people are often misinformed about how to use them and what to do with them. And also, especially because I live in Colorado, there's a lot of misconception that the only medicinal herb that's out there is marijuana. But there's a lot of others. Not that there's anything wrong with pot. It's a plant. It's amazing. It has powerful properties for people who need it. But there's so many other herbs that we can talk about too. It is a good one. Yes, also. Definitely there's a place and time for it medicinally. Absolutely. So for those of you who are watching live, if at any point in time you want to share this, I really appreciate it. Just getting the word out about medicinal herbs is awesome. So to share, on an Android, you can swipe up, and on an iPhone, you can swipe left to right, and you can share on Twitter, you can share on Facebook, and you can share to your Periscope friends and followers. And that way more people can come watch live. They can ask questions, they can interact, and live is always a whole lot more fun than later, right? Herbs for rosacea. Oh, that's a good one. I'm not going to talk about that today, but I'll put it on my list of things to talk about at some point in time. Skin is always one that people want to know about for sure. But Betty, by the way, if you go onto our website and check out the Rocky Mountain Recovery Serum, it's our facial moisturizing oil. That absolutely is the #1 product that I would recommend for rosacea on your face. If you have it elsewhere, our skin repairing body oil, you can also find on our website. Both of those are infused with calendula, which I've talked about already, and will be really healing to the capillaries. Also, for those of you who are checking in right now, if you want to catch the replays of any of these Periscopes, I do have a Catch.me account set up, but I'm also starting to upload them to the YouTube that I just set up for us. If you can, I don't know exactly how you find YouTube things. I know this is so terrible, but I have a YouTube set up for the store. The email that I set it up for is the store contact email. It's info@goldenpoppyherbs.com. You can find some of the replays on that I've been doing from Periscope on YouTube now. So I don't know, check out our Facebook also. I think I linked to it there. So again, anyways, for those of you who are just joining, my name is Sarah. I'm a clinical herbalist and clinical nutritionist. And today I'm going to be talking to you about one of the best herbs for your immune system. So for any of you who joined at the very beginning, there was a photo of the herb in the background of the little kind of image that I start all of my Periscopes with. And the herb that I'm going to be talking to you all about today is echinacea. So for anyone who's watching right now, how many of you have heard of echinacea or use echinacea? If you just want to type in the comments, say heard of it, or if you've used it, say you've used it. And that way I can get a sense of how many of you know echinacea. That'd be awesome because it's very well known, but not everybody knows about it. Not everybody uses it. So yeah, if you just want to tell me if you've used echinacea, just say I've used it. And if you've heard of it, but you've never used it, just say that you've heard of it. It's awesome. Okay, so what most people think of echinacea as being good for is people think of echinacea and golden seal for colds and flus. So this is one of those things I remember being in middle school, and my friend's dad, who was really into natural health at the time, would always make her take echinacea and golden seal whenever she got sick. It was just like, oh, you're sick, take echinacea and golden seal. And now that I know more about how these herbs actually work in your body and what they're doing to you, there's a lot of misconception around how echinacea works and when you should use it and why you should use it. So that's what I'm going to kind of explain to you guys today, so that the next time you have a cold or a flu or some sort of an infection and you think echinacea might be the right herb for you, you can use it in the proper way. Because it's really one of those things that people just don't use it the way you're supposed to use it. Or not necessarily the way you're supposed to use it, but in the way that's going to be the most effective. So there's a couple of different things about echinacea too that I'm going to talk to you about first, and then I'll get into kind of how to use echinacea. So there's two main types of echinacea that you'll commonly find in commercial products, Echinacea angustifolia and Echinacea purpurea. So both of these herbs, or both of these species of echinacea, are medicinally active. People argue all the time about which one is better. I am of the opinion that since there is so much information about both of them being used medicinally and so many scientific and clinical studies documenting their effectiveness, that I think you can't go wrong if you're getting either Echinacea angustifolia or Echinacea purpurea. So if you see one or the other, you're good to go. Don't worry too much about it. They're both going to be medicinally active, and you're going to know that they're medicinally active if they're giving you that echinacea tingle. And I'll talk to you about that in a second also. So the other big controversy around echinacea is whether or not you should use the root or if you should use the flowers. So historically, traditional peoples have used both parts of the plant. They've used the flowers and they've used the roots. So again, both parts are medicinally active, but they do kind of work in different ways, and you do want to use them in different ways. So the way that you use them depends on what stage of illness you're in or what sorts of things you're trying to do for yourself. So we'll start at the top and kind of work our way down. So echinacea flowers are best for when you're just getting sick at the first signs of a cold or a flu, or if you have some sort of infection. It's sort of like your immediate acute symptom part of the plant is the echinacea tops. And this is when you want to be using echinacea tincture or taking echinacea tops tea or what have you every couple of hours. And you need to be getting the echinacea directly on the area that's affected. So if you are starting with let's say you feel like the first signs of a cold in your head, or you feel like that sore throat thing just starting to happen, that's when you want to start taking echinacea consistently every 2 hours for the first couple of days when you first feel the signs of illness. And the reason for this is the echinacea flowers, this is the part that's your acute symptom. It's the easiest thing to grab if you're out in the wilderness. You grab the flowers, you can eat the flower, really intense, try it sometime. You can also make it into a tea, or if you have access to it, as a tincture. And you really want this to be directly applied to the area that's infected, or directly on the area of illness. So again, if you have a sore throat, or if it's a head cold, echinacea tops, tincture, tea, or the flower every couple of hours is going to be the best way to kind of start killing off whatever you've got going on right there. So the cool thing about echinacea tops also is it can be used topically for infections. So one of the things that they've shown clinically is that there are compounds in echinacea tops that are helpful for fighting off snake bite venom and spider bite venom. So if you are out in the wilderness and you get bit by a poisonous snake, get your butt to the hospital as fast as possible, because you still need to go to the hospital and you still need to get it taken care of. But if you are bit by a snake or a poisonous spider out in the wilderness, if you've got some echinacea around, you can find echinacea, or better yet, if you have your herbal first aid kit that has echinacea in it, which, by the way, you can also get my herbal first aid kit on our website, goldenpoppyherbs.com. You can apply the echinacea directly onto the wound, and it will help to break down the venom and fight off infection. And it's also going to stimulate your body's immune system to send more macrophages and T killer cells, or killer T cells, to the area of infection. So that's how the echinacea tops actually work. They stimulate your body's immune system to ramp up. It increases the white blood cell count, it increases the T killer cells, and it actually helps your body fight off whatever virus or what have you faster by working on destroying it at the site of application. So this is where applying it directly to the area that's having a problem is so important. So again, if you get bit by a spider or a snake, or you have that sore throat thing going on, you need the echinacea tops medicine to get to those infected areas like directly. Okay, so this is the echinacea tops that we're talking about. So again, for those of you who are watching, if you're finding this interesting, share it, because then more people will come watch and more people will learn about how to use echinacea, and they're not going to keep saying, oh, echinacea doesn't work for me every time I take it. Well, you're probably not taking the right kind of echinacea in the right way. Okay, so that's echinacea tops. So again, just a little bit of a recap. You need to apply the tops directly to the site of infection, whether it's your sore throat, if you're starting to get a head cold, or you have a really bad cut or scrape, echinacea tops directly applied to the area every couple of hours for the first couple of days for it to be effective. Okay? So echinacea root, now this part of the plant, oh, also something else about that. If you don't feel the tingle, if you don't feel the echinacea tingle when you take it, if you don't feel it when you take the tincture or you're drinking the tea, it's not working. Something's off about the medicine and it's not going to be as effective. So for anyone who's ever taken echinacea, you get this tingly sensation where it literally kind of makes your tongue and the back of your throat and everything tingle and go numb. It's weird, but that's how you know that it's an effective product, okay? If you don't feel that, it's not working. So, echinacea root. Now, the root of the plant contains mucopolysaccharides. So most rooty medicinal plants and root foods in general have polysaccharides, starchy, sugary compounds. And sugar, not in the bad sense of the sugar, it's just a sugar-like compound. It's complicated. I'm not going to get into that right now. But the mucopolysaccharides stimulate your immune system in a different way. This is the part of the plant that stimulates your deep immunity. So rather than responding to an acute scenario, what it does is it helps strengthen your overall immune system. So echinacea root is better for when you have the beginning, or sorry, not the beginning stages, but before you even get sick. So a lot of people are like, oh, I just take echinacea all the time. Well, okay, only if you're taking echinacea root. So one of the products that we make is an immune boosting tea. And the immune boosting tea has some elderberries, it's got echinacea root, it's got turkey tail mushroom, reishi mushroom. These are your core immune building herbs. So they're going to help build up your immune system before you get sick so that you're less likely to come down with something. Or if you do come down with something, your body's going to be able to deal with it faster. So echinacea root, you can definitely do it in tincture, but I really prefer tea in this method, or even some sort of an immune elixir. We have an immune elixir that we make at the store that has the root in it. And the reason I like the tea and the elixir is because the mucopolysaccharides come out in water better than they come out in alcohol. And since those are the compounds that you're trying to get with the root, then you really want to capture those, and they don't capture as well in alcohol extracts. So this is the place where if you start drinking an immune boosting tea every day in the evening, once cold and flu season gets started, you're going to be less likely to come down with stuff, and you're going to be stronger overall. So if you do come down with something, it's not going to last as long. So again, the root here is your like deep core immune building portion. Oh gosh, sorry guys. Getting a phone call somewhere else. Okay. So the echinacea root, I'm just going to pull up a couple of my sources here. So there's a lot of clinical effectiveness studies done on echinacea. It's one of those plants that's been used for millennials, and so many generations of people and cultures have been using echinacea medicinally. And so we know now that clinical studies have backed up that traditional research of it, but you again have to kind of use it in the right way. There was some other random, fun, interesting thing that I was going to tell you guys, and now I've totally forgotten about it. Other inflammatory skin conditions. So this is something that I actually had never thought about the use of echinacea for, but it helps reduce inflammation overall. And there's some historical use of people applying it topically to inflammatory skin conditions like psoriasis and eczema to help cool down the inflammation. I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, if it was me, based on what I know, I would probably use the echinacea root for this, like the topical application for eczema, psoriasis, all sorts of things like that. Because the tops are for more of that acute situation if you have an infection in the skin, whereas the root is going to be more anti-inflammatory and kind of working on a deeper level. Okay, so for those of you who are still hanging out and watching, do you have any questions about echinacea at the moment? I'm really excited about this because I'm also teaching a class this coming Wednesday evening on herbs for immunity, and this is one of the plants that I am going to be focusing on in my class. And of course, I didn't actually plan it, but it worked out well that I got to talk about it this week. Okay, so I'm going to switch here for a second and show you guys a couple of the products that we sell in the store that have echinacea in it. So if you go onto our website and you want to look at some of these, you can kind of know what you're looking for. All right. I'm switching the screen here. So this is, again, I'm at home today, so I'm showing you pictures from the website. This is the immune boosting tea. So this has elderberries, really good for your immune system, high in vitamin C, proven to reduce the length of colds and flus. It's got the echinacea root. It also has a little bit of echinacea tops, rose hips, again, high in vitamin C, a little bit of orange peel, and a little bit of peppermint for flavor. This is a really wonderful tea. You can start taking this. I think this tea is $16 it's a 4-ounce tin. This tin will last you a whole season of tea. Because it's all a loose tea. So this is a really great one you can start drinking if a family member comes home with a cold or flu and you don't want to get it. Start drinking this tea on a regular basis. You can give this tea to them as well to just kind of keep your immune system strong. The other thing that I have on my website, The Healing Power of Echinacea and Golden Seal. This is an amazing book. It was actually written by one of my my herb teachers, Paul Bergner. He's a phenomenal herbalist, and this is all about echinacea and golden seal, and then all of the other immune system herbs. It has some wonderful recipes and just really digs into the science behind these two herbs. So if you want to get geeky about herbs, then you can find this on our website as well. All right. Are watching this on the replay and you have questions, make sure you go to our website, goldenpoppyherbs.com. You can find us on the Contact Us page, send us your questions. You can get products online, and make sure you follow so you can be kept up to date with the other Periscopes, again, try and find my YouTube. Sorry, I can't give you more information than that. Try and find your YouTube where I'm posting the replays of the Periscopes. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, we're getting a website redesign soon. So for those of you who check out our website now, if you're signed up for our email newsletter list and you've looked at our website, when we do the redesign of the website, I'm going to start soliciting feedback from people who are on our email list in terms of what they think about the website, if they like the redesign, you know, just making sure that it's user friendly. And also editing, because, you know, we all make typing mistakes. So I had someone email me a typo that they found on the website the other day, and I really appreciate that stuff. So if you're on our email newsletter list, A, you get a free ebook, and B, when we do the website redesign, I'm going to start soliciting feedback, and there are going to be prizes for the people who help give me input on what you think about the website and all sorts of other things like that. So make sure you're on the email newsletter list. The prizes are going to be super cool. And thank you again for following and checking out my 30 Herbs in 30 Days, and I will see you all